His 6 children sit silently in the courtroom, absorbing every word and image. The jury was chosen with care, ensuring they could handle the raw, unfiltered testimony. Emotions run high. It's a lot to process, especially for those who have to speak in defense of their father. For the first time, the 3 Combs, sisters Solovyov Combs, children appeared together, seated in the front row to offer visible support. Yet, less than an hour later, their composure breaks. They rise, hold each other tightly, and exit the courtroom in tears. What unfolded on the video screen was so unbearable that even their allegiance to their father couldn't withstand it. That footage is now widely regarded as the trial's central piece of evidence, one that draws a thick legal line around allegations of coercion, fraud, and force. Minutes before the video began, the courtroom was hushed. Cassie stepped forward, presenting previously unseen footage from a freak-off, those controversial gatherings at the trial's center. As the tape rolled, tension and dread filled the room. Prosecutor Rachel Harper intoned that this clip wasn't just evidence, it was a revelation of the coercive power structure Diddy allegedly engineered. The family leaned forward, as if bracing for what was coming. Delilah quickly covered the eyes of twin sister Jessie. Their brother Chance and Justin remained transfixed, watching every frame as a haunting moment appeared on screen. A woman they recognized, Kim Porter, their mother. According to testimony, the drives contained footage of 8 celebrities, 6 men, and 2 women, suggesting these freak-offs weren't optional parties but tightly controlled events. They included illicit substances, staged performances, and manipulative choreography. The video revealed Kim Porter in a near-lifeless state, slumped on a couch, unaware she was being filmed. The shock was stark. A hush fell as whispers echoed through the chamber. The Combs sisters, visibly distraught, rose and fled without a word. Their collective departure shattered the courtroom's tense hush with sobs, echoing in the corridor, chilling testament to how deeply personal the revelations were. Outside, the courthouse teemed with reporters, flashing cameras and protest signs reading justice for the victims. The energy was electric, yet inside the oak-paneled room, each breath felt heavy, burdened with expectation. Jury and spectators alike were gripped by each moment. The Combs siblings' stoic presence beside their brother Justin raised unspoken questions about inner loyalties and fractures that may now run deep. Cassie explained how she met Diddy at 19, how the freak-offs evolved into forced, ritualized events. She remembered being coerced into recruiting participants via Craigslist, coordinating travel and logistics while fearing repercussions if she refused. She recalled how every detail was manipulated, from garish lighting to baby oil to encourage visibility, turning participants into living displays under Diddy's command. Cassie's narrative escalated when she recounted how he threatened to release compromising footage. Those videos were his insurance, she whispered, her voice thick with pain. And the courtroom leaned in closer. The defense tried to undermine her, hinting she benefited from the arrangement album deals, luxurious apartments. Cassie responded firmly. She didn't consent. She survived. Any appearance of glamour was coerced and controlled. The courtroom's climax hit when a white party video from 2018 flickered across the screen. Neon-lit mansion, chaotic revelry, illicit substances, and then Kim Porter, her forlorn figure. Mesmerizing and terrifying. Seeing their mother in a vulnerable, almost broken state shattered the Combs sisters. Delilah and Jessie covered their faces and fled, leaving behind a courtroom frozen in empathy and shock. Diddy erupted, rising from his seat in fury. Stop the video now. But his pleas went unheard, over Jessie's sobs echoing through the courtroom. Chance and Justin remained, each with unreadable expressions, a calm facade that hinted at deeper discord. Outside, social media exploded. Cassie's courage was lauded. Hashtags trended. But public focus shifted to the Combs children. Why did Chance and Justin stay? Was Delilah's exit the ultimate heartbreak? And more ominously, why was Kim Porter there at all? As the trial presses on, the world waits. Were the freak-offs a sinister side of fame, or evidence of a criminal network? Was Kim Porter's death truly of natural causes, or something darker? This moment raises more questions than it answers, questions that threaten to dismantle not just a man's image, but a family's legacy and an entire culture built on silence. The courtroom remained steeped in the aftermath, processing every silent of the footage. Pressed seats, hushed gasps, and lingering disbelief fill the air, emotions hanging heavy above every person in the room. Prosecutor Harper stands once more, breathing deeply before continuing. She signals that they're far from done. Additional evidence awaits, ready to break through the walls of silence that have protected the accused for so long. A hush descends again as the jurors lean forward, bracing for what's next. Their measured breathing follows each momentary acknowledgement that they're not just judging a man, but evaluating a system that shields power through manipulation. Steve Klein rises beside Cassie, steely and resolute. She directs attention. Another set of drives, footage from 2014's infamous Roc Nation retreat, long rumored but never officially recorded until now. The screen lights up, a serene Caribbean sunset just before the darkness fell. Young artists, hopeful and wide-eyed, laugh under golden skies. But behind their smiles, whispers echo of missing hours, locked doors, and bruised lips. The whispering hush returns, Kim Porter again present and alert, here, interacting quietly with other guests. Her face consumed the screen in a moment that stabs the heart with sorrow. Another stillness falls more heavy than the first. Emotion ripples through the courtroom. Cassie's eyes water, nodding in recognition. Even the defendant's seats tremble with tension. A moment too long, too real, too painful. The prosecutor's voice breaks the stillness. Gentlemen of the jury, this isn't storytelling. These are documented moments by far too many witnesses who feared to speak out. Until now, her words linger like a storm cloud overhead. The courtroom exhales, then inhales, hearts pounding. Another family, Pusha muttered defense. A lawyer nodding, briefcases shuffling. Every defense motion now echoes against the weight of mounting evidence. The Combs sisters return briefly, hearts still pounding, to collect their bags. Chance and Justin follow calmly. They're no longer frozen. They've watched, they've felt the cracks in the empire, with or without admitting it. As the trial resumes, the judge orders a brief recess. Reporters flood the hallways again, chasing every crumb of reaction. Outside, activists chant their support. Inside, everyone absorbs the morning's devastating impact. In chambers, lawyers argue over the footage's admissibility and intent. Defense asserts setting's sake. The judge's words slowly filter in. If evidence is real, and real matters, then we allow it. The second half of the day begins with expert analysis, digital forensic analysts, correlating metadata, timestamps, and phone logs. The courtroom absorbs the chilling precision of file chains and erased footage. Cassie, and others, elect not to sit through the forensic deep dive. Instead, they gather in the hallway bracing for emotional repercussions. Some cry in tight huddles. Others stare at walls, seeking emotional distance. Inside, Chance and Justin lean closer. A private conversation shared, a weight lifted or sunk heavier. Their silence answers more than words ever could. They've been changed by what they witnessed. Lawyers on both sides know it. This case has transcended a criminal proceeding. It has become a reckoning, a moment where culture's illusions falter and collapse. No matter the verdict, the conversation won't end here. The afternoon continues with more witnesses, former insiders who've left the party scene and stepped into the light. Their stories overlap with Cassie's, confirming patterns of coercion, fear, and quiet disappearances. One artist testifies that she was quietly blacklisted the day she spoke out. Another says her manager warned her, "You cross him, we cross you." Their words hang long, gnawing at the soft air in the courtroom. At day's end, the judge gives final instructions. The jurors will now deliberate with days of testimony footage, forensic reports, personal statements, and all eyes now understand the stakes aren't confined to one man. As the courtroom clears, Cassie, Chance, Justin, and others exit separately, forever changed. Cameras capture their expressions, some resolved, others uncertain, but collectively, they carry the weight of every truth unearthed in that room today. The world outside continues to buzz. Social feeds reflect outrage, disbelief, and sorrow. Conversations spark online. Can fame excuse power? People wonder if #Diddy trial, #family truth, #culture silence will define this generation. Backstage at the courthouse, reporters prepare live feeds, spinning quotes into headlines. Freak-off, footage shocks, courtroom, emotional exit of daughters, systemic culture exposed. The narrative continues to grow. Judges and legal experts weigh in on cable news, dissecting the admissibility of digital evidence, the emotional impact on families, and the larger cultural implications for Cassie and Kim Porter's children. This is far from over. They face public scrutiny and private grief in equal measure. Their courage has become a catalyst, but the cost remains deeply personal. The courtroom becomes a symbol, a space where hidden power can be challenged, where survivors may finally reclaim their voice, and where even empire's brightest lights may flicker and fade. As night falls, the city's neon recedes and lights inside the courthouse twinkle against darkness, a reflection of contradiction, beauty and pain intertwined. Tomorrow, the jury will begin deliberations. The world waits with bated breath, some demanding closure, others demanding reform in a culture that's barely begun to show its cracks. From the courtroom to social media, from whispers to court filings, from faded celebrity to exposed culture, trial stands as a turning point, a mirror held to an industry that built itself on hidden power. Whatever the final verdict, these final days represent a reckoning moment. It's not just about conviction, it's about accountability. Silence broken, culture shifted. The echoes of this trial will linger far beyond these chambers. They'll ripple through record labels, writers' rooms, press lines, and living rooms. And long after the camera lights dim, the most lasting spotlight may be the one held up not to fame, but to truth. The courtroom lights dim as a final hush settles. Data analysts pack up laptops, while time-stamped messages linger in the collective memory of those present. Outside, the press conference area fills of advocates and activists taking turns on the stand, speaking of this trial as more than criminal proceedings, but a call to dismantle enforced silence. Cassie's legal team convenes in a small room, heads bowed in exhaustion, yet eyes alight with purpose. They've shattered the empire's unspoken code, and it shows. In a quiet corner, Chance confronts Justin. Their conversation is soft but intense. This ordeal has reshaped their understanding of family and truth. Lawyers whisper about motions. Suppress this. Admit that, but there's a growing consensus. The floodgates have opened, and once the truth flows, it can't be bottled again. A former partygoer, nearly unrecognizable without makeup and camera lights, steps into the light, ready to testify her own story. A ripple in the growing wave of revelations. Defense attorneys exchange grim looks. Their strategy of silence and delay is crumbling, drowned out by emotional truth and digital evidence. Jurors file out toward their chambers, their faces drawn. This isn't a simple verdict. They carry the weight of unspoken systems in their hands. A hush falls again as the next witness approaches the stand, her eyes locked on the jury. She begins, "I was just 16. Outside, hashtags morph into demands. Hashtag power reckoning. Hashtag fame no shield. Hashtag break the silence. It's no longer just gossip, it's a movement. Over the courthouse, loudspeakers, a procedural notice calls for more witnesses next week. Survivors, insiders, technicians. The story has only begun. On social media, survivors share their own narratives, private accounts, public trauma joining a chorus that started in this courtroom and now echoes worldwide. Activist groups organize town halls. In LA, New York, London, they speak of lessons learned, how structures of fame can shield abuse and silence dissent. Cassie, flanked by her attorney, walks past the media, her face calm, her purpose clear, bearing scars but carrying the torch. Inside the area, Diddy listens through a glass partition as the next testimony begins. No smirks now, just the slow unraveling of everything he built. Back in chambers, judges weigh the precedents. Digital evidence, coerced silence. This trial will reshape how courts handle power and privacy. Late-night television panels debate cultural impact. Scholars question the idea that celebrity is untouchable. The trial has rewired collective beliefs on accountability. Kim Porter's name resurfaces beyond the courtroom. Memorial tributes, think pieces on her survival and silence, and whether justice for her could ever go beyond headlines. Members of the music industry watch nervously, labels reviewing policies, contracts with morality clauses, and what happens next for the artists involved. In a final moment before nightfall, a lone camera catches Chance on the courthouse, steps, her face stoic, but her eyes tell a story of reckoning and hope. The night closes with candlelight vigils. Fans gather, holding photos of those affected, the trial transforming into a cultural milestone. Tomorrow, the jury will hear the closing arguments. But tonight, the world has already heard the silent voices speak. This trial wasn't just about guilt. It's about the power of truth to shatter the illusion that fame is a refuge. It's about daughters and sons, mothers and survivors, from stars to silhouettes, all connected by courage. And above all, it's a reminder, systems are only as strong as the secrets they hide. When those secrets are revealed, the silence doesn't just break, it transforms. The courtroom may clear, the jurors may deliberate, but the reckoning has begun. Fame fades, truth remains. And sometimes, a trial becomes history not for what's decided, but for what it reveals. This is more than a courtroom drama. It's a wake-up call, and we are only witnessing its opening act.